Kirsten, the flow physicist, showing you some intro to triads move categories. First, folds. So triads have a lot of fold symmetry points we can take advantage of. Common one is this cross body fold. Start with your hands together, palms facing each other, triads in tandem shape. You can open up your hands as you turn to wall plane, going into the split X shape. Your palms are going to be facing towards you. And then as you turn to the other side, go back to tandem, the palms are together again. And folds can be in all sorts of different planes, even along the two triad axes. Play them yourself. Next triad move category we can talk about are tracers. So very commonly, you might have some head tracers. This one involves a fold as well. You can trace under your arms, above your arms, kind of like this archer weave thing. You can technically trace like your legs. But a lot of people seem to like the head tracers, which can be done finger spin like I just showed, or fold style. Another category of moves is the Wicklock. So for this, the simplest one is this gravity one. You take advantage of this diamond shape and where there are two connection points. My top triad I'll hold horizontally. The bottom one I will place on top, making contact with both ends. So you see this balance is pretty easy to keep, as long as I don't get too vertical, because then it starts to lose that grip. People like to do various limbs inside of the locks. Some people, maybe not me, can do waist locks. And another possibility from this is to do a toss. I almost think about like flipping a pancake. You can kind of scoop your hand under, and at the top, bring your hand down to disconnect it from the Wicklock and send the other one flying. But be ready to catch it. Next thing we'll talk about are R-types. This is when two of the ends or wicks stay together while you're doing various manipulation. The most common one involves using a palm grip plus a finger ring grip. With the finger ring, you can do the static spin, and with the palm grip one, you can trace it, keeping your triad in the same position. So if I keep these two wicks together, I can gently turn my left triad with my finger ring hand and keep the right triad end connected to make interesting shapes. And you can switch in the center, which hand does palm, which hand does finger ring grip. Let's go to the other side. Lots of possibilities to play with there. The next category I'll talk about is for just kind of generally buzzsaw stuff. The two most common grips for this are your finger spin or your thumb spin. Buzzsaw being anything that's between your arms in this wheel plane, by the way. But with your two fingers together, you can kind of have, they go very closely here, your finger rings are one on top of the other, and your fingers are making circles around each other to create this motion. With the spine grip, you could potentially hold the triads so that each of the outward spines are pointing towards and away from the camera, and you can play with different rotations here to make different effects. All fun and buzzsaw playing. The next category we'll talk about is two triads, one hand. There are two main grips for this. If we go to the star relation and simply put both triads on the same finger, this would be a way to have this two triad, one hand grip. Makes it very easy for spins, which you can turn under your arm to keep it going. You can also try to play around with isolating one of these and keeping it in star formation as you go around, which is not trivial. The other major two triad one hand grip is to have them in X relation with your hand holding the place where the spines meet. So you can use your fingers to kind of twirl one triad while keeping the other one static, or twirling them both for different effects. And technically the Wicklock is 2 triad 1 hand. If you're not holding on, it's just kind of a special 2 triad 1 hand move. Next thing we'll talk about is balances, which I'm not great at. The simplest balance you can do is to have this split X vertical, balance the 2 triad ends, and then try to watch the top of the top triad as a balance point, keep them straight. It's a little bit hard because these ends sticking out make it an unstable balance. I've seen people balance 1 triad on the center ring. Maybe you're better at balances than me, but it's still a move category I wanted to present here. And then the final concept to present is tosses. So you can also do BTG type moves, especially more easily if you hold the triads by the ends. This is how you can do weaves. And then you could also like add certain beats, anti-spin, that way. Not a grip I use often. I personally prefer to do hex grid, which is all based on parallel triads relations, which I have a whole separate curriculum for. Now categories for tosses. If we look at the wall plane, one toss you can do is to have the triad between you and the other triad along your outstretched arm. If you toss underneath and catch it, that's pretty cool to do on fire, perhaps with the front one spinning. The Wicklock to toss totally counts. Little no beats. Try playing on yourself. This is my intro to triads move categories video. Hope you found it helpful. Thanks for tuning in.